Now, this alone is not enough. Of course, we got the original URL. How about generating the shortened link? And how about inserting that into the database? Now, this is what we're going to do just right now. So we got the request original link right here. And what we need to do is essentially create a shortened version of that link. So what we're going to do is the following. We're going to use the Laravel's inbuilt string method. Now, once again, this is the advantage of using a framework. It has already quite a lot of functionality added for you already. So we're going to use the str, the support one, and we're going to use random, and we're going to select 8. We're going to pass the value 8 inside here. So what this does is actually generate a random set of characters for up to 8 characters in total in length. And we can assign this to a variable called random token, and it's going to have that value over here. Now let's see what that value is. Let's say, for example, we print out the original link, and we also want to print out its respective random token. Let's do that. Let's go back to the browser. Let's hit refresh, and that's the random characters. Those random characters are the exact same thing that happens right over here. Those are randomly generated. So if you use the same link again and you shorten it, you get a different set of characters. So we've done that now. We have these random characters right over here. And what we need to do next is insert that information into the database. So this is what we're going to do now. We have the random token here. And what we need to do is simply use the DB class. So the DB class has a method called table. So within the table, we're going to pass an argument, which is the name of the table. The name of the table is called links. And what we want to do in this case is simply insert. And what we're going to insert is those 2 fields. First is the original link. So we're going to insert that one. And we can get that by typing request, original link. And of course, we also need the short link, I think it's called, short link. And the short link is pretty much our main URL. So the URL to the base URL, including the random token at the end. Oh, oops, and I think I almost forgot to add this pretty much, because it doesn't include the / at the end of the link, so we need to do that as well. And here, what we can return instead is the actual short link, which is this over here. Let's put it inside here. And this is going to return our short link at the very end. So let's try and hit refresh. Oh, I think we got an error. Nothing to worry about. We just have to import the classes that we have been using. For this one, we're going to use import facades database and URL. And if we hit refresh now, right, it seems like you have to use the PHP artisan config cache command just to clear the configuration cache. I think that's what was bothering it. Anyway, sorry for that. If we go back to the initial URL right here, and we type in the link and click shorten, it's creating the shortened URL. Now, right now, if you go here, it's going to throw you an error because the page has not been found. This is because we haven't set up the controller to be able to redirect you based on the information you have provided here, which is the random string. We haven't done that yet, so the application doesn't know that it must redirect you to that location. But we're going to do that in just a second. We just have to verify that our entries are within the database. So if you go back to the shell here and type MySQL root, use URL shortener, and we're going to select all from links. And there we go. Those are the links. We have saved the links twice. We have the original link, we have the short link, and it works. So it stores the links inside the database. So this works, and this is very important. Now if we go back to web, we need to create one more route. It should be called route get. And here, what we're going to do is essentially type link. Now this is a variable. I'm going to explain just in a second what a variable is and how this is going to be of use to us. And then we're going to, of course, point that to the links controller and to the function that's going to be called fetch link. I think fetch link is just a fine name. So we're going to call that fetch. And now the link here, the link variable here is going to be used inside our method as an argument. So this means whatever we pass at the end of the URL. So for example, if we go and type /test, so the test value is going to be available inside the controller, inside the method. And I'm going to show you exactly how it's going to work right now. So we're going to create a new function called public function fetch link, as we said before. And what we need here to type is link. So that's the parameter. The parameter is called link, just like the variable name is called link here. So these two must match. So what we need to check essentially is whether or not the link exists within the database. And when I'm saying link, in this case, it's for the short link. We have to compare the strings together. So how to do that? Well, it's very easy. What we're going to do is create a query. The query is going to be db table, just like before. We're going to access the links table again. And what we want to do in this case is not insert, but a where clause. So the select is done automatically, but what we need to do is find whether or not that string exists, that short link exists within our database. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass in, the first bit is the name of the column, short link, and the second bit is the operator, which can be equal to the shortened link. Now for the shortened link, what we can get is this bit over here. I can copy that bit and put it right here. So short link will be URL path to, and we also, instead of typing a random token that we have above, we're going to type link. So essentially we're going to take the last bit over here, we're going to add it to the entire link, and we're going to compare it whether or not it exists within the database. So let's, and the value here should be short link. So let's check whether or not the query returns the results. If query exists, which means it returns a result. If it doesn't exist, if this returns false, it means that the entry does not exist. There's no such entry in the database. So if query exists, what we want to do first is just print out exists. Let's see if it works. We just want to test out if it works. If it doesn't exist, we can return not exists. And this is pretty much the bare bones of what we need to do to fetch the link before redirecting. We're going to apply the redirection in the exists case. We're going to write the redirection code in just a moment. We just want to test if this works. So we have the test link right here. So the test doesn't exist. It should say not exists. But if we go to our database and we fetch this link here, which is within our database, it should say that it actually exists now. There we go. So it checked the database, it found the link, it matched it with this link right here, and it says it exists. So that's very good. Now this means we can proceed with writing the code to do the actual redirection. So all you have to do to implement the redirection is just use the native method called redirect, and what you have to pass in the URL you want to redirect to. In this case, what it's going to be is actually we're going to fetch from the query because that's where it is, and we're not going to use the short link because obviously we don't want to redirect to the short link, we want to redirect to the original link. That's obvious. So we're going to do query value, and that's going to select the value from the particular column that we have requested within the query. And what we're going to do in this case is just type original link, and that should be it. So if we go back to the browser and we put in the link right over here, there we go. It just redirected us to the website. Go back. So let's try again. Let's put the same link, shorten. We take this link, we paste it here, we click yes, and it redirects us to the website. Now, of course, this is all bare bones. Of course, you can actually add a lot of more features, and this is the challenge that I would like you to do once you've finished this video tutorial series. What I would like you to do is actually implement 2 more things for the project. So the first thing is, if the link doesn't exist, you should redirect back to the actual home page instead of printing the message not exists. That's your first task. And the second task is to expand the database, all right, and include one more field. So let's take a look at how this could be done. You need to go to your migrations. You need to expand this database by adding one more field. And that field should count the visits of that particular link. Once you've done that, what you need to do is go back to the welcome blade, and at the bottom here, simply is before redirecting the person to that link, what you should be doing is actually give them 5 seconds countdown and also displaying the total visits count for that URL. So this marks the end of the video tutorial series on how you can build your own URL shortener. Once again, this is a very, very simplistic and very basic version of a URL shortener. I know I haven't been posting tutorials for quite a while, I haven't been doing vlogs, but this is a way for me to restart my channel by doing this sort of tutorials and trying to explain people that they can land a job much easier by actually making a WAR file project. And what you should be looking forward in the future of this channel is more projects and more tutorials just like this one, and maybe even better because I haven't done a tutorial in quite a while, so I'm a bit slacking. I have to do quite a few edits here and there every time, but I hope I can improve on, and you guys can be a very big part of that by helping me, by actually liking the content, subscribing to me, commenting, and giving me more suggestions. So thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this during the winter holidays period, I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next series.